Today I'm going to work in my 2017 composite art journal and in my new little quote journal. I have started doing art on the little quotes in this Pioneer Seed calendar. I figure the quotes are already there. All it needs is the art. And let me tell you, I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking, this reminds me of a calendar that I bought in, 2011, 2012, and I took it to work with me. And it was a watercolor calendar. And it would have, on one side, it would have the finished watercolor by the artist, and it had a blank page on the other side. And you could look at what this person did and create your own on this side. And I took it to work with me, and sometimes I would sit at my desk over the lunch period and work on a little watercolor. Sometimes after work, when I was trying to avoid the rush hour traffic, I would just spend maybe an extra half hour, just kind of my happy hour, just relaxing and doing just a small watercolor on that calendar. And that's what this reminds me of. Now, I don't know if I can keep this up for the entire year, but the advantage of it is, you see, I've already skipped it a couple days. Today is May 4th. The advantage of it is that I can do 2 pages at once. This is May, so we're already in the 5th month, but maybe by doing 2 pages, I can catch up. So what am I going to work on today? Well, let me show you. I enjoy watching Gina Ahrens' Wednesday's live sessions. She calls them Art Adventures Live. I'll put a link to her channel and yesterday's Art Adventures Live, where she had gone out to the Gelli Arts site and had watched the demos of how they put watercolors on the Gelli plate and were creating images. And Gina was demoing that for her YouTube viewers yesterday, and I worked along with her, and let me tell you, that was so much fun. I am using a set of Kentucky watercolors. These watercolors are opaque in nature. I do like them a lot. I like them in my art journaling, probably a little bit more than if I were doing a watercolor painting. There's a certain transparency to them, but there's a certain opaqueness to them too. And she was demoing how to do that. And these are my, let me pull my bobby pin embellishment off. These are the results from my trials yesterday. I love this one. In fact, I took a photo of this with my phone, and I think that I'm going to use this image as a background image on my phone as wallpaper. Right now I just have a blue background, but I like this so much. I just love how it turned out. It was very wet when I created it, but after you let it dry, I can actually touch and feel and look at it. And here's the ghost image and another. I don't know if this was a ghost image of that or not. I can't remember if that came from the same pull. This was the very first one that I did, green, but you still get some interesting textures in there. And of course, then I went to another ghost image on these. And then you see purples and blues in there. I was making an attempt to do layering, but I got sidetracked onto other things. Look at this one. Isn't this one cool? I like that one. It reminds me of a wheat field that's just about ready to be combined. I like this one. I'm not sure exactly how I think I was drawing circles with my watercolor on the plate. I think that's how that happened, and then I just went in and did some dots. Here I was attempting to play with a stencil in watercolor. You can see it somewhat. It's a nice texture, but it sure did not you know, watercolor is a water-based medium, and the liquid is going to leak through the stencil. It was a nice try. And then these are just very light pulls here. Nothing really spectacular about them, but they'll make a nice background, maybe for a tag. Here's another one. I really do like these. These will make very nice backgrounds, ATCs, tags. But I'm going to leave them in my art journal as is, because I want these particular ones to be a recording of my session for that day. Another bobby pin embellishment. And here was where I was trying the layering technique that Gina was demonstrating. Very fun. And I think I have one more here. Oh, I have a couple more. I love this one too. This one is just a very, I want to say very muted pull. Same here. This one looks like a sunrise. Here's some texture. On this one we were playing with doing faces. Of course I had to mimic Penelope, my pincushion doll. She probably is not too flattered with that. Here she is. But you got to remember, this is on a jelly plate with watercolor. I mean, and I was experimenting. I kind of like her. I think she's pretty myself. Just kind of some really interesting textures. Here's the ghost image of Penelope. So I am going to do just a few watercolor session pulls off the jelly plate today. And I don't think that I'm going to talk through it. I'm just going to go out and do a fast forward through it. If you want to know more about it, I'm going to leave a link to Gina's channel, and she probably has a link to the Gelli Arts channel. I'm also going to leave a link to another video by Ros Jones, where she does some experimenting with this too. She had posted in Facebook her YouTube video on it. So those are some links that you can explore. I don't feel like I'm an expert in this. This is just me playing with the jelly plate, and I really want to get some color down on the May 4th quote page here. We have a choice: to plow new ground or let the weeds grow. So that says to me, we have a choice. Are we going to try new things, such as grabbing glue out of the bag, and jelly printing with watercolor off of the jelly print thing? My talent is, where I focus my art, it's really on the drawing and sketching. That's really where my talent lays, and the art journaling. But it sure is fun to plow new ground, to try new things. And when you do that, the weeds don't grow up. You're constantly churning that creativity. You're turning over new dirt. You're preparing the ground for new growth, for new creativity. Think of it in that terms. So again, I'm just going to go into fast forward. This is not a tutorial. This is just me having fun in my art journal. When I'm finished, I'll come back and show you the results. Okay, I finished with my doing watercolors off of the Gelli plate. I do like experimenting with this. I probably will not be doing this on a regular basis, but it's always fun to try new things and see what works and what doesn't. And I know that there are other things to this that I haven't even touched. But that said, here are my results. Now I did blot some of this away. The purple was too intense for me. These colors, these purples and greens, are really not my colors. They're just not in my normal palette, and they even aren't today. Putting the rose colors in there helps me, but I tend to shy away from these colors. So this entire page just really didn't do it for me until the end, when, after I had written this quote out of this book, the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. And of course I saw the sun there. And so this works for me. Then I got more into basing off of this quote, which I really do think this is a successful page. I do notice that the watercolor does soak through a little, but you know, I was thinking, well, I could do oil pastel on this page, and probably it's done the same thing over here. Ooh, that's pretty. I might just leave it just like that. Saddle your dreams before you ride them. Yeah, I think I like that one. So, but my intention is to just get some color in this quote book, in this little calendar. But I got more off into doing landscape pulls here, and I think these are successful. I will not be cutting these out because that's on the back of the trial that I did yesterday. I'll put it in my art journal just like this. But I do like the quote on it. I think this was a successful pull. We have a choice to plow new ground or let the weeds grow. And of course, here's the sky, and here is the ground. Now, I did find out when I was experimenting with this, I don't have clear dish soap on hand. I'm using this soft soap. That may have something to do with it. I find it does work. The purpose of putting that on your Gelli plate is so that your watercolor doesn't bead up and you can work more with it. But I did find that when I put my paper down on my Gelli plate, you know, just say you're going to do a pull. Normally when you do a pull, you put your plate down and you rub it like that. Well, that just smears. That just smears the paint underneath here when it's watercolor. And I have found that if you just lightly drop your page on the plate and just barely touch it, then you aren't smearing your color underneath. We get a lot of smears on these pulls. And I also found that it is a watercolor technique. If you take a stream of water and put it across the area where you don't want your color to flow beyond that. And I did do that on this because I was finding that my watercolor would float into the other areas. And I get this smearing. I think maybe that's one reason why I don't feel like these are successful. But if you just take your Gelli plate, take a bead of water or even a very wet color and put a line across where you don't want this area to bleed into this area. And I found that works to some extent. It did bleed up in here, but I think I probably had pressed on it there too. So I do like these. These do remind me of landscapes. I like these pulls a lot. I particularly like this one. And I thought that the pulls, by the time I got to my little quote book here, I go, oh no, I can't read the quote. But I do find that with these Kurtaki watercolors, and probably with your other watercolors, once they dry just a little lighter, so you can read the quote. It doesn't stand out as much as it does here, but then this is color on your page too. And I really like this one. the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. And let's see what's happening on that other page now that it's drying. I do like this. So I did 3. I got 3 of them done in my quote book today. That was an extra blessing. I just like it like that. I'm going to leave May 3rd up a little. I'll keep thinking it's yesterday today. So thank you for watching. I had fun doing this. This is just, I'm into this, trying new different things. This has been really fun. Be sure and check out Gina's channel. Give her a thumbs up. Give my video a thumbs up if you enjoy watching these. Please subscribe. And I will see you on the next page.